pleasure to speak with you. The film's a lot of fun, Sniper Rogue Mission. So tell me, you've been at this for a while now. What does it mean for you to be, continuing on and carrying the legacy of the Sniper franchise?
I'm always shocked that they invite me back to this party, Tyler. I'll be honest with you. I thought they would have dumped me years ago,
Well,
but
they
they
haven't. You've been playing
have.
him for a decade now, which is pretty
Yeah.
nuts.
So I must be doing something right. But no, it's been such a wonderful experience for me to keep coming back. It's a rare opportunity for actors to be able to take a character like I have with Brandon Beckett, and where he's basically just a young man, wet behind, not even wet behind his ears, and he's very green as a soldier, and then he kind of takes this evolution. He walks this path that not many soldiers walk, which is to become an elite sniper. And now we see him, using his skills not just to take out bad soldiers, but now we're taking out, bad guys in all sorts of different ways, and in this topic, this film, we go after not just a rogue renegade sniper or some evil corrupt soldier. We go after people who are running a sex trafficking ring and taking out those kind of ne'er-do-wells. So it's been a lot of fun to be a part of this franchise. It's been great to see the evolution of Brandon over the years, and I think he's kind of he's gone from boy to man, so to speak, and now he's just kind of more comfortable in his own skin, and we get to see him be more of himself.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that because, like you said, it is rare to be playing a character for this long. And you talked about the evolution of the character, but what has resonated with you the most about Brandon, after spending so much time with the character?
I think Brandon is he starts out lost. He doesn't have much of an identity. He's estranged from his legendary father, the sniper played by Tom Berenger, Thomas Beckett. And so, he so much of the early films, he's just trying to figure out who he is and what he does and what he can do and how he can make a difference in the world. And you see him repair his relationship with his father, and that had a really wonderful conclusion at the end of our last film, Sniper Assassin's End, with me and Tom Berenger, kind of wrapping things up, less of the awkwardness, more of like, all right, I may not be your son, he may not be my dad so much, but we can at least be friends at this point in our life. And I love that sort of wrap up they did. So now he's just kind of stepping out into his own, and it almost kind of feels like that burden's behind him, that pressure's off. He's kind of out of the traditional military, and now it's kind of like, what's next for me? I've been around the world, I've seen the world, I've tried to do as much good as I can. Where do I want to go? How do I want to help next? And that's been a really fun journey, and we kind of take it in a new direction in this movie, and we start to see the beginnings of like a team, that we started laying the foundation of in the last film. So, Agent Zero and Lady Death and the Colonel, Dennis Haysbert's back.
Yeah, and it's so important for it to kind of change because it's really hard for a franchise to stay fresh. And a lot of times these type of continuations fall flat, but this series has just really resonated with people. And now you've done more sniper films than the original trilogy. So why do you think it just keeps resonating with audiences so much?
I do think there's a conscious effort to not rest on the laurels. These movies are they're popular. People like them for what they are around the world, and you could easily just crank out any number of by rote sequels, and you'd probably do fine. But we've got visionaries over at Sony, our producer at Sony who makes these things happen, our Oliver Thompson, who is a writer, director, producer on this. He wrote and produced the last one. They have come up with a vision to kind of take this franchise, and they've kind of defined it as a trilogy within the franchise, to really take this off in a new direction. And the last movie, Sniper Assassin's End, kind of began that. Like, you actually see Brandon starting to have teammates that stick around and everything else too. And we see more of that in this film where, like I said, Agent Zero, Lady Death's back, the Colonel's back, the man in charge. So you really start to see kind of a team element, coming together that you didn't really see stick around more than a one-off in the past franchises. We've gotten away from the military heavy stuff, and we've gotten off into, let's go do good, almost A-team style wherever we can. And so I really love that they've not they've not been lazy. They've really tried to elevate these films, and it's a hard thing to do, and they maybe don't have to have success, but they have, and I really appreciate that, and because it gives us actors a lot more things to chew on, and it's a lot more fun to play on them. And you know, I think we're going to even try to shoot for the moon on the next one. We're going back into production on Sniper 10 in a month, and we're going to just keep riding the rocket.
That's awesome. And this is the second time you worked with Sayaka Akamoto. You know, she's a former idol in Japan and had such an huge success there. And this is kind of her first big foray into American films. So how has it been, you know, working with her and as a scene partner?
Yes, Sayaka Akimoto plays Lady Death. You know, I know that she's, you know, she's such a big deal over in, you know, her native Japan because of this sort of stuff. And it's kind of crazy, right? You take an international Japanese pop star and then you put her as this absolutely stoic, lethal assassin, you know, in our Sniper franchise, and she absolutely pulls it off. And she's so great, and she's so prepared. She really works her butt off, you know, all the fight choreography and the training. You know, the first movie, you know, English is not her first language, obviously. So she came back for this movie. She had, you know, learned a lot more English, which just shows how committed she is, you know, to this role, to this franchise. And she's just really, really such a sweetheart. You know, even if she does kick hard. I know she didn't mean it, but you know, you're doing a fight dance. Sometimes you get kicked hard, and she can kick pretty hard. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you've gotten to just do so many action scenes throughout these movies. Do you feel like that's something that like gets easier over time, or is it always kind of a new challenge?
uh, that's a great question. I do think it's easier because you have some experience and you know how this stuff will play out. You know how the camera angles need to pick this up, so you know how to work it a little bit more. You know, the recovery time takes a little bit longer. You know, the longer in the tooth that you get as an actor as the years go up. That's just true in life for anybody. But I do think that on one hand they do become harder, and that's because they're trying to push the envelope. And I think we had Hits International, which is the amazing team we had on our last movie, these world-class stunt coordinators and stunt performers, and so they're really trying to elevate, you know, the action sequences. So it does become harder in that way, but I do think that when you can pull it off and you finally wrap those scenes, you know, you're very, very satisfied because you put in a lot of work to making them the best that you can.
You've got the Warzone poster behind you, and you played Alex in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. He had such a, you know, really solid arc in that first game. What were you most excited about just looking back at that first game of what you were able to accomplish with Alex?
Yeah, that was such a great experience for me playing Alex Echo 3-1 in Call of Duty, you know, and continuing to play him, you know, in Warzone and everything else too. I love that role. I love that thing. There's such a parallel between Alex and Brandon Beckett in our Sniper franchise as well. They're good guy soldiers. They want to do the right thing. And, you know, it's uncanny, you know, just going off script, going off book, sometimes going against orders to make sure the right thing gets done and no one kind of, you know, escapes through a loophole, and willing to do what it takes. And I love that, you know, Alex was introduced to that game in that Call of Duty franchise, which I've always been a big fan of, you know, and he's the good guy American soldier. You know, he tries to do the right thing. And I think that that is so similar to, you know, Brandon Beckett, as we've seen him in the movies and the journey he's taken as a character over the years, is that, you know, he's got a moral compass that points true north, both of them. And I really, really love that, you know, even in Call of Duty, they introduced a lot of sniping stuff for Alex, which was great. You know, it was such a great, you know, parallel to the Brandon Beckett stuff. And I just love that Call of Duty fans who you know love Alex have gone and checked out the Sniper movies, and I love that the Sniper fans, you know, who play video games have gone and, you know, played Call of Duty and learned about Alex and played through that single player campaign of Modern Warfare. So it's been a lot of fun, and really, this is the only thing that I set out to do as an actor, is to play a pretend soldier. And, you know, I just kind of count my lucky stars every day that I get to keep doing it.
Yeah, you can't like dream up better synergy than that. And Call of Duty, like you mentioned, it's massive, just the biggest gaming franchises. And they go into so much detail now with motion capture, and it's your face in the game. How wild is it that people are playing the game with your face on it in Warzone now, and there's just millions seeing your face? I mean, it has to be pretty surreal.
It's pretty cool. It is me. It was a full, performance capture, face capture, obviously voice and everything else. So Alex is me. I'm Alex. They gave me a sweet mustache, which I'm happy about because I can't really pull that off in real life. So I really love that. But it's cool. It's flattering. It's a first person shooter. So even though I play as the Alex character, the skin, I don't really see it until I'm dead on the ground, which happens very often. So it's a lot of like, oh yeah, there's Alex on the ground again. Just the whole battlefield is littered with Alex corpses because of my poor play. But it's fun. It's surreal. It's crazy, and you kind of weirdly get used to it, but you never get used to it.
And then I wanted to touch on, I read that you were a Hollywood publicist before you started acting. How did you make that transition? Were they like, you're just too handsome to be just a publicist? What happened there?
Dear Lord. Well, I live in Los Angeles. It's just like, if you're a 9 out of 10 in the small town in Kansas you grew up on, you come to Los Angeles and you're already a 5. So handsome is relative in a city like this. But no, I was a journalism major in college, and I came out to LA and fell in being an intern and then an assistant for an entertainment publicist out in Los Angeles that represented TV, film, actors, Las Vegas entertainers, stuff like that. So that was the industry I broke into, which exposed me to the business. And I met all sorts of, agents, managers, people of this ilk, and a couple planted the seed about go take an acting class, maybe it's something you'll respond to. Let's talk. So I'm like, what the hell? I'm watching Band of Brothers. I love Braveheart. I grew up on GI Joe, so it's like I'll take an acting class. Like it sounds like fun. So it was a slow and steady journey. I just tried it on for size and I dabbled. But I think Sniper Reloaded 11 years ago was the movie that really, the light bulb went off. I had the epiphany. I said, I got to see this through. It's just too much fun. It's too life changing. These experiences are just so great. And that was the movie that kind of sent me forward to committing to this, career with everything that I had. So, 11 years later and a pandemic later, we're still at it. So I suppose we're doing something right.
Awesome. Congrats on the continued success, and we'll see you back again with Sniper 10 here soon.
Thank you very much, Tyler. Yeah, Sniper Rogue Mission out August 16th, digital Blu-ray and DVD. And we're going to be gearing up to shoot Sniper 10 very soon. So hopefully that'll be out by next year.